The third letter from Jesus to the seven churches in Asia in Revelation chapters 2 and 3 is a pretty serious one. It's sent to the church in Pergamum. And as I noted in the last video, Jesus knows that Pergamum is a place where Satan has his throne. And he also acknowledges that one of their faithful members had already been killed for following him. So it was a difficult situation, but he commends them because they've remained loyal to him. Now we could almost imagine that he would just continue with that, tell them to keep up the good work and to move on to the next church. But that's not what Jesus has to say, because he says, I have a few complaints against you. He says they're tolerating some false teachers there. The first is related to the prophet Balaam from the Old Testament, and he was basically a guy who was willing to hire himself out to help bring curses against the nation of Israel through some idolatry and immorality. They also say it's related to following the Nicolaitans, who were basically a group that probably came from Nicholas, who was one of the original deacons in the book of Acts, but that seemed to fall away and just welcome compromise. So despite the good they did, they were compromising. And it was, as one author puts it, they welcomed the idea that you can engage in sin, live pretty much any way you please, and still be a Christian, because God understands. But Jesus is not putting up with this. He tells them, repent of your sin, or I will come to you suddenly and fight with the sword of my mouth. So Jesus is taking this very serious. It reminds me of his teaching in Matthew 7, where he says many people will call him Lord, Lord, but he's going to turn them away from heaven because they have no relationship to him. So this is serious, no matter how bad their situation. But Jesus offers promise if they're victorious. Join me next for that.